Okay, as you can see, we are in the sauna, and I'm with Master Daniel here. I call him Master Daniel because this guy's mastered a lot of stuff, okay? And Daniel Lewis, where do you go by?
Dan.
Dan?
Yeah.
Dan has been helping us with everything that has to do with these detoxification and rejuvenation retreats. And they're not really even retreats, they're just like vacations, okay? Because this guy's like the vacation facilitator, but you're coming to a place up in Hawaii to be able to really clean yourself up and go through some integrative therapies in connection to one another, which, as you can see, you've been seeing this, is magical, isn't it?
Life-changing, 100%.
Life-changing, okay?
So, no matter what level you're on, if you're coming here to heal, rejuvenate, optimize, raise your consciousness, or all three at the same time, if you can handle that.
And you've seen, remember, you don't think you know. This is what I want everybody to get.
100% success rate. Not what success is, but it's 100% rate.
Success is massive change in everybody that comes. No one's here to say anybody's getting cured. Cured is just a word. What you're doing is you're optimizing.
Yeah, and they're removing baggage.
Optimizing.
All types of baggage. Emotional,
debris everywhere.
Everyone. Sometimes the people that are the most fit athletically are the ones that lose the more physical stuff. So.
And you notice they can't fast as long sometimes. Okay, it's not because they're weaker, it's because they're way tougher, like Nidra.
And they usually push themselves a little bit more.
But their body unloads faster. It does. That's one part of the magic.
I noticed they get the most out of the program here if you try to live a little bit more of a ketogenic lifestyle before you come here, and you really learn how to become an efficient fat burner. Those are the people that have the most graceful time into transitioning into ketosis. Once you're in ketosis, everyone has the same experience.
But you notice people even come here like Wendy. She didn't even do anything.
There's people that come here they've never done anything.
She ate a hamburger I think the day before or something.
In Ayurvedic medicine, people with overweight, they're more grounded, so sometimes more grounded people are really easy to fast. So I don't know if that
well, but not only that either. This is what I see, you know, because
the first 30 is always the easiest. The last 3 is going to be the most challenging.
What happens is when someone's overweight, remember, that's a lot of fuel. Okay, your body in ketosis, it goes through and it starts eating up all that bacteria. And then we're not talking the good bacteria, we're talking about the debris, we call. And it's not so much the bacteria it eats the house that these things live in. Remember, body fat is a sickness.
Adipose tissue is a living organism on its own.
It's a sickness, okay? And a sickness is navigational and in many ways. But what we're going to do today, okay, because as you can see, he just got a haircut.
I just cut my hair for the shortest it's ever been. It feels so weird. I love it. Yeah.
Tell them what we're gonna do in the second part.
So I've been facing kind of hair challenges my whole life. My hair was actually way less as thick as this, and I've done like that. What's that stuff that you can take dioxin, or is it you buy it over the counter? But it's like with chemical.
Oh, for.
It's some kind of chemical package where you do 3 different bottles, and I've
Rogaine
tried that.
type.
It was kind of like Rogaine,
yeah.
But I've tried that.
There's lots of them.
But following Dr. Gassar's protocols, train modification protocols, and remineralizing and doing the skin cleaning, but really deep, I definitely noticed that my skin regenerated. Where I have like it came back up.
Your hair grew back like 50%,
and the thickness came bigger with the silica and the skin cleaning. But I never trimmed my hair this short to really get a deep pore cleansing. And
we're going to go over the protocols. That's why he did it, is because if you cut your hair down lower, okay, we're going to show you the protocols that you have to really, get into the pore and take out all the puffiness of the skull, all the toxicity. Remember, how many times have you shampooed your hair? Think of it. Okay, with chemical shampoo, and chemical conditioners.
You're taking a shower in a hot
fluoridated.
Yeah, so it's
chlorinated,
so it opens
dry.
the pores up, and it really. So most of the skin cleaning is actually about detoxification of an organ. This one's a little bit more vanity based, but you still want to become your most authentic self. If I told you that a parasite was living on your skin,
exactly.
If I told you had more company on your skin than you probably do living in your house, like that is it's just weird. You want to become authentic.
A normal person, just so you know, when we talk about bacteria are really small, and they can be good bacteria or bad bacteria. But if you just take one tooth, and a tooth's pretty small compared to your scalp or all your skin, just one tooth can harbor about 6 million different little bacteria, okay? Colonizational bacteria, and like we said, most of the bacteria, especially if you got bad breath, gingivitis, smoking, eating certain foods that are sugary, these are all foods, okay, for microbes. You have mercury fillings. Okay, so I see all these pieces. We call this terrain modification because the protocols we're going to show him are specifically
for regenerating the scalp,
for regenerating
the hair follicle.
And it's not, because remember, most of the people that talk about actually losing your hair talk about it as actually like some curse because you got too many hormones. Okay, and we're going to talk about that just a little bit now, just so you can understand that. Could it be possible? Okay, like ancient aliens. I like the way they say it. Could it be possible? Because I could tell you the truth, but you'll, but could it be possible to you, okay, that you losing your hair, most people, and I'm talking women too, that there's things that live in your pores and they eat the oil that you secrete, called sebum. And if they're colonized too much and you have a lot of fuel, oil, okay, because maybe you do have too much testosterone, maybe you do have irritation where your body's got to make a ton of oil, and this is because the oil's there.
Fried foods, hydrogenated oils, and it produces DHT more, which is the sebum.
You get, and so remember, this is nothing to do really with hormonal. We're going to work on. This is more detoxification and reclaiming back
regeneration.
Yeah, reclaiming back these pores to actually open up, so we can get everything that lives under the skull. You know, I used to do a lot of cadaver cutting when I went to school, medical school. It was part of my job to get free tuition. And when you cut open the scalp, okay, on bald people, okay, especially, it's really thick and it's got this sponge in there, okay, and I always tell people, feel the top of your head and see if it's spongy, or push on it really hard for like 20 seconds, let go, and see if there's a dent there, okay. This is what I call fixated pore pus. And what's pore pus? I don't know.
Clogged everything.
Yeah, I have no idea. Chemical synthetics, who knows? Trans fatty acids and parasites that live in these pores.
And everything the parasite secretes. Okay. Everything that eats has to secrete.
That's right. So if you really look up the microbe that does this, it's called Desodix follicularum. And it's a tiny little thing called a hair mite. And there's dust mites, there's tons of critters. Remember, dust mites are spiders. And these things are like weird looking creatures. And they live in your eyebrows, okay? They're in your eyelashes. They have a lot to do with wrinkles on the face.
So when you wake up in the morning, you have that like, crust. That's 100% sign that you have.
Okay, exactly. So, and if you do, remember, you got infected. And everybody, just so you know, this isn't something that just a couple people get. Okay, most people, 95% of the people that they tested have hair mites. Problem is that they don't feed them that much because they don't produce that much oil. But remember, women lose their hair a lot. There's a lot of wigs going around and thin hair, and that's the same thing. Now, the Japanese have done a lot of research with this and try to do every day 3 hours worth of research. Okay, I was up this morning at 2:45 and I was telling Daniel, I'm studying radionucleotides right now because that's a big problem in people. So one of the things I was looking at is parasites on the skin, and of course the scalp, the gallea. Okay, this part of the skin right here is very tough, but you can't really get to it until you take the hair off. So for women, this is a little harder technique for you to do. I'll show you what you can do. Okay, it's not going to be as effective, but I can show you, because if you got long hair,
it's harder to get to them to the scalp.
Can't get
and
to
my
it.
Best friend, she's a woman and she eats really healthy. Not so much into terrain modification, but her hair's been thinning out over the years. And I kind of told her about skin cleaning, and she was like, "Well, I don't know about putting vodka on my scalp." And I was like, "Well, I vibe that it's Demodex," but she went to a special top dermatologist in California, and they put a small camera, and they actually showed her on the big, huge HD TV that you have these tiny little things crawling.
Scared her is what she did.
Scared her, and then tried to sell her like $150 shampoo that would only last for about 3 weeks. That was their special formulated.
Just so you know, look, guys, what I do is I look at research and we try to go ahead and bring it down to this level so you can treat yourself.
So it's effective, you can treat yourself, it's affordable, it's economical.
Exactly, but you're
buying wholesale.
Have to spend time, and Daniel knows that. He spends a lot of time at what
I also work a lot, so I don't want.
But you love
people
what you
make
do.
Excuses for not taking care of themselves.
But you
and
found
you're
your
gonna
love,
have to
though.
take care of yourself.
Look,
So.
you have a good time here. I see.
That's
he teaches yoga classes, all the different raw food chef master here. Okay, this guy can make any food taste good. Fermentations, okay? I mean, doing all different types of assisted different types of things, like advanced stretching, because once you're water fasting, it's not time sometimes just to lay around. It's time to go ahead and get active.
You have to push
the
dead waste from your body.
Yeah. So So anyways, getting back to this real quick here, the parasites, remember, that live in the skin, there's different protocols. That's why I want people to trim the hair off their legs. Just trim it down to number 1, okay? Because you can't do the same thing.
I did it too. I did a 1. I did a 1.
No, that's perfect.
Yeah.
You got it down perfect. Because it won't pull it won't pull his hair. Okay, now if your skin's fragile on your face, you may want to grow a little bit of a beard and keep it just like he's got. Because if you go all the way down to the skin, if you shave it bald, that's not good either. Because you probably cut yourself 20 times. It's all like
more bacteria getting in. And just,
no. So what you do is you just do like what he did. Let me just give you a close-up. His is not real short, but it's probably 1/8 of an inch, and his beard's perfect there. Because a lot of times in the face, the skin is so sensitive. And the hairs will actually protect it, because you're really trying. You got to put pressure on to get a lot of the stuff out, but you have to use the different solvents that we'll talk about. And part of them is iodine, fulvic acid, okay, but a pH of 2 fulvic acid, not the ones they sell. We get this specially made. And you want to keep the low pH, because you're trying to dissolve stuff in there, particles of contaminants. That's what fulvic does. It helps dissolve oxalates and different things. Magnesium, okay, softens the skin, the wrinkles, and it also protects.
Closes the pore afterwards too. And the fulvic is super non-diluted compared to other companies, because I do my research too. And
not only that, our magnesium. Do you have any magnesium?
I don't have any magnesium.
Okay, we'll have to get some. But the magnesium is a 31% brine. Okay, most magnesiums they're diluted down. Okay, so
you can taste it in your mouth.
Super strong. Okay, and you just have to learn these protocols. And at first, like I said, you may get more wrinkles on your face. Okay,
you have to backpedal.
You have to go ahead and actually rebuild your skin, and your skin does rebuild itself. Remember, every 30 days. So getting back to the parasites, these parasites, remember, the only reason why the hair dies is because you get hundreds, which I'll show you a picture, hundreds of these things in one pore. And just think, they eat oil, they reproduce, and they poop. And there's so much poop that gets in the pore, it dies.
It crystallizes, it hardens.
Yeah. And after that, the whole
suffocates, it inflames the pore, and then it just kills the pore.
And after that, after the baldness goes back and you start taking out the tree farm, okay, that area where the skin is dead, where the pore is dead, is plugged. Because all this poop inside, just like he says, it calcifies. It's sort of like cement in there. So this is what we're going to do is you can't do this without the solvent, so don't even try. And this is an intermediate to advanced movement, or it could be beginning to intermediate too. Remember, you can do these.
You can always start at any level, but to go in the sauna with all of these solvents that we're going to use in one video might want to.
Well, I'm going to show them different ways. You don't do everything at one time. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use a dissolving agent, and that's the fulvic acid. Okay? And there are protocols. He talked about vodka before, but it's not just vodka. Vodka's dry on the body, and it will make the skin dry. It'll dry it up. It's too strong.
It was the vodka solution,
with all the minerals in. MSM, activated charcoal. Sometimes you can do it. It makes a mess, though, so I don't like to use it too much, but it works really good to one day put on the alcohol, soak it into your head, okay? And we'll show you different protocols that basically you want to go through, pre-protocols, okay, to be able, because remember, there's not just one, there's like 20. And, you know, one of the protocols, real quick, and we're going to go through this in a sec, is taking out the toxicity out of your skull, okay? And this is EDTA. Okay, you can do it on your face. Okay, you wouldn't believe how much toxicity you have from mercury fillings, from makeup, from just putting on lotions. Okay, not good. So how do you get all this stuff out of you? Well, you got to open the skin up. Okay, once you open the skin up, then it starts to come out. So we're in the sauna for a reason, and we're not just doing this protocol now. You can see.
I'm sweating.
Look at both of us. I'm river sweating. Okay, and been in here about 20 minutes or so. Okay, and most people, and Dan knows this, a lot of people that come in here don't sweat.
They can't stay in here as long either, because you have to purge.
They radiate.
This isn't so much about heat. It's like these waves that we can't see, visible to our eyes, and they're penetrating through our tissue into our cells. And here's our cell with inflammation. And so it pushes anything out like water, and there's toxins in this water. That's why you want to help push out that water more, and you want to wipe it off.
And the biggest secret I can tell you this, guys, because I've seen many people faint in the sauna, and some people even die. You need water. You need to drink this much water before you go in, okay? You're going to sweat. Yeah. And every couple of minutes, you drink a couple sips, whether you like it or not. You can see blue-green algae here, very brain-oriented medicine. You can use all the different liquids of vitality while you're in the sauna, okay? Because why? Because you're putting in good minerals and different dissolving agents, washing agents, or nutritional agents, and you're peeing through your skin. You're urinating through your skin. As long as that action's happening, you're getting heavy-duty detoxification. So it's learning how to do these practicals, principles, and protocols. Got probably 30 more videos, and he's been helping me with Earther Academy. This guy knows how to do editing. He's pretty good at jack of all trades. Jack of all trades. And I try to go ahead and hang around people that are jack of all trades. You know why? Because
you grow with them.
Yeah, I need to learn.
Then why just do one thing? Why specialize? Why not just branch out?
And isn't your life fun? Not getting stuck in a corner?
I clean. I just do everything.
Okay, now just before we start, I'm just going to ask him a question. Okay, because everybody should really, wherever you do this, okay, is one thing. But you need to reset your body and reset your mind. And the only way you're going to do this is actually really, if you want to do it right, is you have to cut things out for a little while, nothing. You know, you can do a juice fast and stuff. You're cutting some stuff out. You can do a meat fast and just have not meat for 3 weeks or so. But if you really want to, you know, get deeper into this fasting, okay, with dry water, steam distilled water, and then using IV, okay, therapies, which help EDTA,
nourish the body,
help take out
detoxification pathways.
Exactly, rejuvenate glutathion,
highest antioxidant that every cell just sucks up.
Alpha lipoic acid. Okay, H2O2 drip if you need that.
Cleans out all your veins, your capillaries.
Yeah, EDTA
there
super,
are more
super
conductivity,
cleans.
and it makes water fasting safer, because back in the day everyone water fasted, but we have so many environmental toxins in our body,
plastic, everything.
Yeah, so when our bodies are detoxifying, especially if we're older and we are more contaminated, I noticed that people can water fast longer with the nutrient IVs, because it doesn't wake the digestive system up, but it nourishes every cell of the body.
Exactly. So
it's a loophole. It's like biohacking water fasting.
So the reason why all this stuff really works is because there's so many departments that you need to cleanse. And then rebuild. It's not just cleanse it. You got to rebuild it too. So it does take effort, and it does take effort to evolve, guys. It takes effort to get from healthy to sick, okay? And it takes effort to get from sickness to health. It takes effort to get sick, let me tell you, okay? It takes effort. Your body's very, very strong, okay? But once you do get sick, okay, that's not too good, because now you got to really backpedal, and you better learn a lot of stuff very quick, because there's lots of different departments to learn from. So, okay, so the next pictures, if we just, you know, did the head protocol, I mean, that's cool for the hair and everything and the mites and all different things. But remember, the protocol, skin is everywhere, okay? It's through your whole body.
It's a detox organ.
It's in your mouth all the way to your anus. Remember, that's skin too. Okay, skin is everywhere. It's the vaginal lining, okay? It's all the linings. It's skin. And it does take silica to be able to help rebuild that. Okay, it does take certain types of minerals and different types of oils it takes to be able to make your body so it can rebuild. It doesn't need sugar. I guarantee you that. And as you can see, the United States, remember, is the second fattest country in the world. Okay, second. Number one's Mexico. Is because they eat about 200 pounds of sugar a year.
And most people don't realize that sugar was a really rare thing. Like back in the day, you only had like 1 or 2 fruits. You were lucky to maybe live in Mexico where they have agave or maple syrup, and actually until the sugar trade there was no diabetes or anything. Like Hippocrates never talked about it. Sugar is one of the most detrimental things to our health.
And until you get your health under control, guys, yes, fruit is sugar, honey sugar, okay? Stevia is your best friend. So
one of my favorite quotes from Dr. Casar is sugar is sugar is sugar.
All three.
When I first heard that, I was like, whoa, because I thought just raw veganism was like Optimus Prime, but I know not veganism, but just like raw food. Like if it was, I could eat like 10 dates. Well, it's fiber. It's not, you know. And now I can't even eat dates. Like I made that one dessert 2 weeks ago. That was the first dessert I've had in 3 months. Yeah.
And you'll find this out,
guys. It slows
me
down the next day too.
And you'll find this out. Yeah. When you eat sugar, you're going to get hungry, because what you did was you took the dormant microbes that do process sugar, and they do you a favor. They're in you. And then they replicate, and then they want more sugar. And 2 hours later, they want to feed again. Why? Because they got a new set of babies. So let's get back to the hair. Remember, Desodex follicularum is one little dust mite, hair mite, excuse me. Dust mites are in your pillow. Now, this protocol, remember, you'll get reinfected. If you do everything and everything, we have protocols. You got to clean your bed. You got to go ahead and wash your dog. I wouldn't have any animals in the house at all.
Your sanctuary.
Okay, I wouldn't have any birds that have powders on their feathers. Okay, regular birds like macaws that have oil secreting feathers. If you're gonna have any bird in your house, that's it. Not a bird that has little dust, because every time it flaps.
If you wear a hat, if your car seat behind you,
100%.
Because they can live for so long without a human host. So you keep recontaminating yourself. And at first it's like driving a car where you're like, this is so much to think about. I have to turn my body right while still holding the steering wheel straight. So it's like kind of like detoxifying, you know, rejuvenating, regenerating is at first it might be a little intimidating, but the more you do this, it just becomes naturally integrated into your lifestyle. And it's nothing anymore. It's nothing.
Look, like I was going to say, all these protocols, you know what? They're easy for you now. Why? Because you know the job.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
but in the
teach it
beginning,
over and over
it was
again,
confusing. And is it confusing for people that have actually known me for years and watched a lot of videos, and they haven't really done the protocols because they haven't felt comfortable enough to be able to say, let me try it myself. I see that I'm going to do that in time. And you notice a lot of people that come here, they've been watching.
They change in 3 weeks because you get to have it done to you once or twice, and you have someone that you can ask all these questions. I think the educational component of this retreat is the most beautiful.
I saw the 2 girls this morning. It's been 7 days. Okay, I all of a sudden, this is what happens, guys. On the 7th to 10th day, magic happens. All of a sudden,
your liver downloads, and I think that's when you become an efficient fat burner.
Lose. I told her, I said, you lost 10 years of emotional, mental, physical debris. I said, look at you. Okay, so, and she told me, she goes, look at my stomach now. This is my normal stomach when I'm exercising twice a day and doing all these things. But this is a protocol guide that really does work. Colon hydrotherapy,
and anything
do we
past,
get to have
anything past 8 or 9 days is like double the day, I swear.
It is.
Yeah.
And you got to be careful. There's different things. That's why we have medical supervision.
And we have different, a pinch of salt in your water, so you don't have to drink. We're not like a boot camp.
No. Or a little bit of coconut oil.
Just to keep you going. Yeah.
Just to keep you so.
But the colon hydrotherapist, her name is Nedra. She's a rock star, and she definitely helps us. She does abdominal massages as you're water fasting, and we do these castor oil packs that saturate your gut wall lining, your lymph. So all these things, even heavy metals, because parasites will follow a heavy metal, and as it burns through your cells, everything we do is anti-parasitic. And we see, and it's so weird.
You're not killing stuff though, guys. Remember that.
You're
just pushing them out.
You're saying,
changing their
You're
terrain.
like, I'm no longer willing to participate in feeding you anymore. And when you just stop feeding them sugar, you're actually, when you're water fasting, you're everything. They get weak, and they just want, they're like, okay, I'm done. We've had people pass like parasites like that big now. We might start carrying a gallery just to show the efficacy. And
I said always to Dan, make sure you get pictures. I said, because the best part is that, see, everybody doesn't think you have parasites. No, everybody does,
when you
guys.
see one, you know that it's not just one cockroach in your kitchen.
It's magical. Then what do people do? Now they really want to get on the program because they all of a sudden believe, they know that there's creatures living inside your mouth to your colon, basically. They don't really live in the colon, the ones we're really talking about. Most of the species that actually either poop inside you. Remember, everything poops inside you. Okay, and this is what pollutes your body. The hair mites, they poop in your hair pore and they kill your hair pore. Okay, you get wrinkles and all different types of. Remember the one girl also, her whole face swelled up.
She had dental work. She had
toxicity that came out
bars
of her
in her tissue when she was younger, and it rejected itself. And she said that though, and I was like, "What's your intention with the water fast?" She's like, "I want everything here to just be gone."
And she had me feel her skin
too, though. Yeah, and she had made me feel her skin. I felt balls of just something inside her skin. Like I can pinch. This is still not as skinny as I would like it to be, but there's no balls underneath here.
Yeah, but you've changed. See, the same with Daniel. He's just used to himself.
No,
massively changed.
Yeah.
How much did you weigh when you first started playing around?
220.
Could you imagine this guy 220? Okay,
Polyps.
He'd be wearing that
I had
beard.
Polyps in my colon. I had I was almost bald. I was severely depressed. I was on Accutane for acne. I was on an inhaler. I was on 2 allergy shots a week. I had medication for my acid reflux. I had to have major surgeries when I was younger.
Listen to him.
And my tissue, I went when I was 25 for a colonoscopy when they put a camera, yeah. And they said that they'd never seen someone's tissue regenerate like it ever. And I was like, well, I was about to tell him all these things I was doing, and he was like,
I ain't got time. I gotta go see someone else.
I have 5 minutes with you. You just wasted 6. Goodbye. And I really believe in taking care of yourself, because we're reaching a time of the world where there's not enough doctors for patients. And when you come here, one of the greatest things is instead of getting 15 or 30 minutes with a doctor, you get like 40 plus hours.
Exactly.
Can you imagine getting to ask a doctor any question?
You know, guys, you know what happens too?
2
people that come
doctors.
Here,
2. Yeah. And Dr. Jessica.
And you know, when people come here, this is a joke, but it's not. Why do you think so many people have these little beards? You look good in a beard now. You look like G.I. Joe, okay? When I used to play with that little guy.
I keep it clean, yeah.
But you're not putting it in because you have more chins than a Chinese phone book. Yeah. Okay? Most people have this thing here because they don't like this big bulge that's under their throat. Okay, so all these techniques, guys, what they do is they just shrink you down 1 layer at a time, just like you got bigger 1 layer at a time. And you got bigger, it's because you got toxic and because you basically followed the system inside your body, remember, that is asking you to feed. And once you disconnect these things, that's what the miracle about this program. Once you disconnect these little guys, then you get your sanity back. You get your clarity. And it's like, I'm not even hungry and I don't even want sugar. In fact, I want oil and salt.
And if you do even like pressure into doing it, you're like I had a
stomach
banana.
ache.
Yeah, I used to love
Get
bananas.
gas.
I used to crush bananas. And I can't even, it's not pleasurable to me anymore.
Well, see, he doesn't have the yeast, mold, fungus, and candida in his system.
I used to, though.
Okay, and this is what happens.
I used to.
So once you retrain your gut wall flora to take this new fuel, remember, your body's a flex fuel machine. It takes sunlight, it takes magnetism, it takes carbohydrates, it takes fats, it takes alcohol, it takes proteins. It's a flex fuel machine. So you're going to train it when you dry water fast like this. You're not putting any fuel in it. And where are you going to get your power from? The sun, directly from plasma.
Photons.
Okay, you're going to change your machine, and then when you start feeding it, you refeed your stomach with essential bacteria, and that's all you're having. No more sugar. Okay, and then you refeed the foods, and this is where Dan comes in really good too, because people get excited about actually when they go home. What do people say? I'm so excited. I'm so excited to go home and show everybody what I've learned.
They're almost excited to leave just because they're so excited to jumpstart.
Yeah.
Like they're like, I want to go home and just change everything. Like people change their jobs. I realize a lot of people want to change their jobs,
and a lot of people want to move here because they found out that the Big Island is so
authentic,
pure, and authentic. Okay, so getting back to the skull. Okay, guys, anybody can do this. Okay, there is a protocol that you should follow there, and it's actually just, changing a few things out of maybe 50 departments. I don't care if it's your mercury fillings. I don't care if it's your tampons. Change them to organic. Or you're smoking cigarettes, then quit smoking 7,000 chemicals and go at least over to organic and light up with beeline or one of these hemp with beeswax, not paraffin. Because some of the people are making those lines and they're actually making them with petroleum wax.
It's not.
That's not what you're doing.
Yeah.
So you're just navigating. Okay, that's all you're doing. You're not taking anything out on the first layer. Okay, shower to chlorinator, getting the chlorine or chloramines out of your water.
So that won't chlorine promotes it dries you and
makes your body make more oil.
Yeah,
it makes your body make more oil.
And it kills your flora.
Okay, so let's say real quick too, so you can just get this idea. What happens to teenagers when they get like 12 and 13? They start getting zits. They call them pimples. They call them zits. Whoa! And they put all this stuff on, and they won't even go outside for 2 or 3 days because they got one right here. They got the third eye going right here. Big volcanoes. And then some people that pick them,
chest and back.
Yeah, and they get all these pock marks. They call them. Okay, guys, how about that little pimple is Vesuvius? And Vesuvius, when you look inside it, is full of parasites. So this technique also works on the face beautifully. Also, okay, so. Remember, what you're trying to do is change the terrain of the pore, not so much the skin. Remember, the skin regenerates, but the pore goes in 4 feet. And you got to get that thing moving, just like Daniel and I. We're sweating like crazy because everything that sweats, it's got the pore open. And if you don't sweat, you're clogged. And that could be another reason why you have body fat, is because the acid and all the toxicity won't come out of you. And if you do, it stinks. Okay, so
your tongue turns black.
No.
Another thing about skin is that we're going to treat it topically, like transdermally, but it's also about diet, like the no sugar, more high ketogenic, because it's like when something happens on your computer screen, it's like a zit. Do you try and wipe off the computer screen? Like it's actually an internal error sometimes. Yeah. So sometimes, I mean, you have to. I think most hair loss is actually parasitic. It's the Demodex, and you can just YouTube anyway. You actually just YouTube it. We'll probably put a video on right now, but. My thing is that you have to also treat it internally too with what you're eating. You can't eat fried
100%.
food, hydrogenated oils.
Yeah.
Old rancid olive oil, even if it's organic, it could be
rancid. And if you cook the olive oil, it turns into pretty much no good.
And that's going to come through your body, out through your pores. It's just going to produce more oil, which feeds them more.
Clogs you
so you can put all the alcohol, vodkas, skin cleaning solution you want, all these fulvic, astringent minerals. But if you don't clean up your diet at the same time, it's kind of a whole.
But process, at least if you did clean your skin, okay, because a lot of people don't want to clean their diet up, is because there are parasites on the world. Okay, at least clean your skin aggressively. Show you, we have lots of videos on this. Learn how to make the solutions, and then rehabilitate the skin with the lubricant: coconut oil, magnesium minerals, silica, and then I top it off with cacao butter. Silica is the best hair conditioner
you could ever use.
Best.
And then you can use cacao butter and just like go around your head, and it's like a sealant. You put all the minerals, and then you put like something like coats it more, so it just stays more.
Tell them real quick. Okay, remember, you started doing this protocol about what, 4 months ago?
Heavily. Okay,
yeah. And then tell them how your hair grew back.
I mean, it just between that and I was doing different essential oils,
whatever it was,
like protocols. Because I got these
whatever
protocols.
it is.
Yeah, it just works.
But what we're saying is you can't grow your bloody hair back.
Especially people who don't see me on a daily basis. When I see them and they know that I'm going through it because I'm really transparent, they like definitely see a change.
Okay, you can though. Is what I'm saying, and that doesn't matter what you're doing.
If you can regrow a bone, you can regrow a hair follicle.
Okay.
Like what?
Exactly. So the idea is, guys, don't think this is hocus pocus unless you do this for about 3 months. Okay, please. And don't get this idea too much about the hormone thing. Hormones make sebum. Okay? The more hormones you have, remember, when you go through puberty, you get a ton of hormones. Why? Because you just got them. And all of a sudden you got all these pimples. You got tons of oil now. You got dogs and cats and birds and carpet and anything and anything. You slept over your friend's house and he's got the dogs and the cats and everything. And you brought them home and now your whole family's got them. You can see how this goes.
Or a bus in the city that has fabric.
School bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go to the gym.
Any public.
Okay, this is the same as basically like when I got tinea versicolor, okay? And tinea versicolor is a skin fungus, and I see it on so many people, and they call it sort of holly rot, but it shows itself in the sun, and most people don't get out in the sun, so they don't really see this, and if it is, it's not that bad because the sun hasn't made it so it looks that bad. But these are skin funguses, and I had that for 10 years, taking all the medications, and you know what? I'll also show you guys, one of the people from Earther Academy, and I've had lots, but this guy actually documented it, and he showed me his before and after picture of his hair. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Okay? And this guy's on the other side of the world, and he's not getting what we're going to show you. He's just taking bits and pieces of it and putting it together himself. Remember, there's a lot of different ways to do this, so don't think just the way we're showing you is the only way. Mm-hmm. It's a work in progress.
And in the videos, we're trying to consolidate to show you everything possible, and then you use what you have available and what you have time for, what you make time for.
And remember, you're your own experiment, okay? So don't think that, you know, I'm showing you how to do something. I'm showing you how you can do something. It's up to you to be able to you know, practice it. And you may have to tailor it a little bit and bend it around. You may have to dilute the magnesium because it may burn your skin. Why? Because you got cuts in it. You got micro cuts from these little parasites.
It only burns for a second though, but it definitely is a stinging sensation.
So we have all different tools that we're going to use and different products. Some of the tools are...
The combs I really like if you have longer hair. The spoons I really like because you also can clean out your ears, and the Demodex can live off the skin.
They live in the ears too, and
they mostly live in your eyebrows. You really can't do your eyelashes. You could do a little bit of tea tree and like coconut oil or something, like really diluted. But even then, you want something tear-free.
I found, when we'll go over this, I found out that MMS works really good too. And I found out if you use fulvic acid, we'll show you some different things to be able to combine fulvic acid with something else. I won't say it now because I don't really want anybody to try it unless basically, because, you know, certain types of things can drive in anything. And as long as the scalp is clean, okay, as long as the area, let's say you have skin fungus and you wanted to go ahead and get rid of it, well, you'd put the fulvic acid and we'll put something on with it to drive it into the skin so it goes deep. So let's see, anything you want?
I'm really excited for the first squash spoon because I've never had my hair this short, so I'm really excited.
He's been doing it by himself.
I want to see what cheese. I'm like so excited to scrape the cheese out of my scalp.
And wait until you see the stuff that's going to come out of his skin. Okay, and the stuff that comes out of his skin, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. Candida, yeast, mold, fungus, toxicity, plastic, who knows?
I definitely don't use any soap anymore. Like I definitely went from like using anything at this like pharmacy to like Whole Foods.
But how many years did you?
Trader Joe's, and then
how many years did you?
A lot. I mean, a lot. But like I still, I mean, I use like lemon. I use like baking soda. I sometimes use some stuff from Earthshift. Okay,
so one of the biggest things why I'm going to share with you also, guys. Okay, once you get the hair mites out, they'll just come right back. You have to change the toxicity level of the skin. Otherwise, it jump right back in. Okay, your body is being irritated and poor for some reason, and it could be because there's other parasites in there other than hair mites. Remember, there's lots of parasites. I have no idea, but there's lots.
7 different kinds of parasites that love living on your skin.
Yeah, and these live in the pore. They live inside.
Parasites, yeah.
Exactly. So the idea is what you're trying to do is you're trying to get rid of the matrix, the house they live in. Because if not, they'll crawl back in and start colonizing. Or one's still in there because you didn't get them all. And remember, they just replicate and keep making and making. You think they need boys and girls? How about these beautiful parasites? Some of them are androgynous, okay? They replicate themselves just like a lot of the different parasites do. They don't need, they're not like the Phaseolopsis liver fluke that's trying to find a mate. Okay, and sometimes you may even have attraction to some person, and once you have sex with them one time,
the parasite pheromones are releasing through the armpits.
Okay, and once you have sex with them one time, that's it. It's done.
200 parasites in one kiss.
More. There's more.
Or even just your salt and pepper shaker at your local restaurant. That's probably really
bad bacteria. You're talking about the ones that real parasites, like the ones sort of like on it.
But they're gonna always go in your system. So if you don't feed them blood or sugar, they're going to constantly.
Remember, your mouth is the dirtiest thing you have on you. Okay, not your rear end. Okay, no, it's right here. Okay, so there's different protocols too to be able to go ahead and clean each section. The nasal, okay, the 3 different sinuses here, the ears, okay, all these things need to be cleansed out and
Pineal
detoxed.
gland.
The pineal gland, okay, the lymph glands under the arm.
Lymph glands to your whole body.
Okay. Remember when you first started these protocols, you bruised a lot, didn't you?
At home, I did.
No, you
I
bruised
never
a lot.
got. I never got a treatment from you before.
No, but you bruised yourself a lot. You worked yourself pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, but you don't bruise that much anymore.
I got mine was more of a skin cleaning thing. I think I just was plugged with oils. I've always done yoga and like worked out and like danced, so I'm really nimble. So I feel like my circulation was good, but my skin just had so much. I had used to use so many products.
And guys, just so you know,
so many products.
This is where
so weird.
This is where it's going next. Now, if you're a woman, okay, you get hit with so many more toxicities from dyeing your hair all the time.
200 chemicals, and they can be endocrine receptors where the body thinks it's
lotions.
A hormone. Yeah.
Okay, fingernails. Okay, implants, lipstick with lead, makeup that's made from petroleum,
And grounded up body parts.
ground up
of
animals, euthanized animals.
Glandular
Okay,
organs.
so you get hit a lot harder. So we found out, and this is true, that most women, they're harder. They don't sweat hardly at all. Most women have a harder time detoxing. You know why? Because they got way more in them.
Society's programmed them to buy more products.
And to be sexy and put all the foofy stuff on, and if you're working business and you know what you're doing, you're probably dyeing your hair all the time, you're probably using dry clean clothes, and you're probably putting on a lot of perfume so you smell pretty, because that's just sort of the program at work.
I wrote for an article about how toxins through lotions and chemicals affects your hormones, and I wrote it for a women's issue for a lifestyle magazine in California, and I got it declined because they said that 100% of their funders through all their advertisements, it's called pay to play. They pay to like advertise in the magazine, so they pretty much control what the magazine can have. That's why you'll never see toxicity ever talked about in mainstream, because if you pay attention to the commercials, that's where their money is coming from.
I call those the regressors. They basically hold secrets back or hold information back, okay,
For quick profit.
for money, control, depending on how you remember, you have to be your own doctor, guys. You have to be your own physician. You need to go ahead and see that a lot of these protocols do work, because remember, thousands of people have done this. Millions of people have watched these videos. We get so many.
People message us from all over the
Yeah.
world. People come here from all over the world.
Yeah, they go, "You changed my life, doctor," because I don't even
I'm
know.
like, no, they
I said,
changed.
No, you did.
He woke them up, but everyone is taking responsibility.
Yeah. I say to
You're your
people,
best.
I say to people, I'm your
physician.
beginning mentor, like you are. We're beginning mentors. Why? Because our
He's a
job
stimulator.
is to make you
An
yourself,
inspirer.
your own mentor. Okay, remember, you're going to learn, once you get kick-started here and you figure out that these things are benefiting you, you'll want to share them to other people. Then you know what happens, just like you. You became a
It
teacher.
gives you hope again.
But you became a
and
teacher.
You become an educator to yourself and your friends
You're a
and the people
teacher.
you love. Yeah.
And you don't believe anything, but you're
I'm not a
worldly.
healer. I don't believe in anyone actually being a healer. You share information, and you have to spend time on yourself.
And pay attention. And your body heals itself,
Pay attention
guys.
to your environment and how words might affect you, and your work environment might affect you. Your local community affects you.
Remember, there's a
sometimes
lot
to
of
get
pieces.
vitality, you have to change everything: your friend circle, your job.
Everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so the big picture before we go on part 2 is question everything, even us. Okay, and
YouTube
that
right now,
means-
Demodex.
Yeah, and that means that
Yeah.
you're going to have to, usually, if you question everything, that means you're going to have to
You have
change
explosive
just about everything.
expansion.
Upgrade.
You have explosive expansion when you even question just don't.
Yeah, don't believe. And if you believe, remember a lot of the things, remember your authorities, okay, not to be negative here, but
Most of your authorities could be controlled from other.
yeah, the authorities are sort of
creatures.
under the layer of political rightness on who pays for a lot of stuff. So a lot of the news you'll see, there are, remember, thousands of cures for everything. I don't care if it's free energy. I don't care if it's actually for breast cancer. Remember, you're never going to go ahead and find this cancer.
Water fasting,
Yeah.
keto. Actually, they're starting to make pharmaceutical companies are starting to make ketogenic like pills.
Yeah, I know,
so instead
that's
of
funny, yeah.
going water fasting and like going and relaxing and like pushing yourself a little bit at a retreat center, they're just trying to push our program in a pill.
Okay, guys, just remember, and we're going to sign off because I don't want to confuse you, okay? But remember, your job in the future is to pick something more efficient than what you're doing right now. Remember, what would be wrong with that? What would be wrong with that? But in order for you to play this, you do need some guidance a little bit, okay? You don't have to believe everything, guys. Again, do your research, investigate it. And if it seems like it's sort of something you want to do, maybe because you've heard other testimonials. I'd watch all the testimonials from people that come here, but not only that, that's that's just one piece of it. But the testimonials of people just changing a few things, changing their oil, salts, and sugars, getting a shower to chlorinator, changing their perfumes over to real essential oils. Okay.
And I wish we'd maybe have, we're going to start doing before and after photos, because you do, at the very end, we do like MSM on the skin, so all their like inflammation that they have while they're like detoxing, like the skin reactions, we kind of like want them to go down right before they leave so they look good again. But I almost want to take like a mid stage to show you that people in just 3 weeks, I mean, your face can just like come out, but then we get it right, it's like right back new, better than new when you like leave. We've gotten pretty good at like pulling and then knowing when to like slow down right before you leave.
And guys, remember, you get a new life after you actually disconnect everything that's, or most of the things that are inside you that actually were putting you under the spell of their life. Remember, you're not hungry, they're hungry. Especially when you disconnect them, you'll find out that you're not too hungry and your body's way efficient now because it's been not starved, it's had to become efficient. And you've only trained it with the fuels now that you know. The ketogenic diet, the best runners, the best athletes in the world.
The elite.
The elite, not some guy in his backyard. I don't care what you read about it, okay? This is the elite. Study the ones that are the most advanced, okay, athletes on this planet. And not only that, the ones that actually have an advanced awareness too, because this feeds your brain. Your brain goes up and down on sugar. It's not good. It stresses your body. It stresses it. Remember, you're trying not to have stress anymore. Intensity. A little bit of oil goes a long way.
Everything you put on your body or in your body is going to make and affect gene expression. Everything. So if your body's regenerating every cell anywhere from 2 to 7 years, what's keeping you in dis-at-ease?
Did you hear what he said? Every 2 to 7 years, and it's supposed to be about 18 months.
Every cell in your entire body
is rebuilt.
So what density in your body that's not ringing to a resonance that can just regenerate itself?
Okay. And remember, your morphogenic resonance, which is your electrical architectural blueprint, that's what tells your cells to replicate in the fashion that your system can go ahead and actually holograph that cell over. Remember, the cells are all the groups, the brain. Everything is new. Look at your fingernails, toenails. Your hair should grow. My hair grows 3/4 of an inch every 3 weeks. I got to get a haircut. Why? Because I put a lot of silica
and
in
this
my
whole
system.
like we use the word cellular, but like Ayurvedic medicine talked about plasma regeneration a long time ago. So the one thing I love about Dr. Nassar is that it's integrative. So he takes literally the best Ayurvedic herbs with gua sha, which is like Chinese meridian scraping, which is natural hygiene, which is naturopaths, puts it together and makes it comprehensive.
Colon hydrotherapy, deep massage, and a lot of things you guys can do.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to be getting a hyperbaric chamber in the future because that really helps people with regeneration, and also a hypothermal chamber where you go in and it really tightens you up by 40 degrees. And this is how you get neurogenesis from fasting, and you get neurogenesis, which is the making of new nerves, from also going like in the waterfall after you get done here, something cold. Remember, it's always good to finish off on your shower with a cold shower. Finish with that. And if you've got fluoride or chlorine, I take a cold shower anyways, because if not, you won't believe the toxicity. That's why you got the oil, remember, most likely, is because of all the dryness, the irritation, and your body tries to fight it.
Because you smell it your whole life. First time I was like, I don't know. So when I heard Dr. start talking about chlorinators, I actually did my research and I Googled it. I was like, whoa, there's like links about people in cities that they first started putting chlorine in the city pools and people started getting colon cancer. And I was like, whoa, Dr. Starr's right. And I got one, and then I was like, I can't even go to my like parents' house or friend's house and take showers anymore when I lived in the mainland because it would just, I would smell it. That was the first time I became aware.
100%. Now, one last thing, guys, okay? I know you've had dandruff before. Don't tell me you haven't. You go like this and you got these little white guys on your eyebrows and you don't want to wear a blue suit just because they'll see all that stuff. Okay, could it be possible, again, dandruff, okay, it's a parasite and toxicity.
Especially if you have dreads, you have hair mites.
You definitely do. And a lot of other creatures living in that nest.
Too, yeah.
Okay, you ever notice those types of people? And they're nice people, remember?
3 dreads. So
he's had them. Yeah. It smells. Okay, remember, it's micro poop. It's not what you think. And if you don't know how to really go ahead and disinfect it, then you got stuff living in those knots, living in their blood.
I mean, men have fecal particles in their beards.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's why, I mean, I don't use the vodka over my whole body every day, but I do my beard and where, oh, yeah, we'll just go
I do mine once a week, just so you guys know.
But I'll tell you my protocol in the next video. I'll tell you how I approach my hair regeneration with alcohol.
Okay, let's start part 2. But guys, remember, connect the dots. Whatever you do, it's better than nothing. And have fun.
Yeah.
Remember, whatever you do...
the more you accelerate, the more hope you get.
Whatever you do is better than what you're not doing. And like I said, it is going to take some time. Spend time. And you're going to have to pay attention. Again, Earther Academy is $120 for 6 months. We give you all your money back to buy tools, and you can't buy these tools, steam distilled, water machines and different products from Earthshift products, cheaper anywhere, free shipping and everything. You need these tools, guys, and if you can't afford them, then get someone else and share it. So at least you can go ahead and get some of the tools, because as a carpenter, you do need tools to be able to show your craft. Okay, part 2. Anything before we go? You want to say? I really love this guy, okay, in many ways. Why? Because he's sort of like me. Why? Because he always wants to learn. He's always curious. He doesn't mind looking in the dark. Why? Because you need to. You need to go ahead and see what these other guys are doing, so not so you can bitch, so you can navigate it. You got to be able to see what's going on. I don't care, what anybody tells you. And how many documentaries, remember, how do you help people out? This guy's always listening. He's not listening to music. Once in a while he does, but all the time. He's listening to different things instead of just doing menial, mundane, work. Might as well learn.
If I'm going to clean or prep food, I'm going to listen to something.
Yeah. So try to do that, guys, and shut off your television for a while. And there's hundreds of documentaries. You can learn about
Follow
GMOs.
people that give you hope. And you're a viewer, not a follower. You're viewing someone's information that they're sharing with you.
You get.
And one of the things about the sauna and the detox protocols is that you really don't have to change your diet.
No.
If you really, really want to regenerate your scalp, I mean, everything affects you, so you might want to just, slowly adapt a more cleaner lifestyle. But these protocols with the sauna and the skin cleaning, you don't have to change anything.
And you'll never stink anymore. He doesn't smell one bit.
I smelled one day a couple months ago, and he called me out.
But if you do, the first thing you do is follow the skin cleaning protocol, and you bring a little spray bottle with you. Spray the underneath your arm, scrub that stuff good, get that sulfone hydroxyl ion in there. Quit eating garlic. Quit eating white onions. Quit eating green onions. But purple onions are cool. Okay? If you want to really cut out all your onions for a while, because it's hard to get out sulfone hydroxide. And every time you smell, remember, you think people can't smell that? That's embarrassing. Please. Okay? Clean it and then put lubricating oil. Coconut oil, silica, and a little magnesium, and even a little cacao butter with maybe a little clove. Okay?
I put clove in an old tincture bottle, and then I put a spray chopper on it. And I use essential oils like that, so it's super.
We're going to start doing some radio shows with a lot of different subjects, okay? Because I know everybody really grows from listening. And Daniel's really showed me the truth, because he's been editing my stuff for a while now, and he's been putting pictures and really making it so the visual
anatomy is really important to look at as you're looking at these things. Or when I speak about Demodex, like looking at it and seeing it.
Oh my gosh! When you look at it, you go, "No way!
You're like,
that's a picture." No, that's not.
Then once you realize that there's parasites living on in you, then you're like, wow, there's probably parasites inside of me.
And then not only that, you'll see the close-up pictures of the Demodex, and you'll see a bunch of them living in the pores, sticking their heads out, okay, itching your face and all this stuff. But you'll see next to it that the skin's flaking, okay? And there's other critters that eat that, okay? They're the skin eaters. Those are your dust mites. Remember, a normal pillow can have up to about 5,000 dust mites that eat skin in your bed and your pillow in about 6 months. So get yourself a condom. We go over this. It's a condom of the bed. It makes it so dust mites can't live in your bed, because just because you wash your sheets means nothing. They're living in your bed, guys. Okay, here we go. Part 2. Let's give them the double chocolates. Yeah. Colonize too much and you have a lot of fuel, oil, okay, because maybe you do have too much testosterone. Maybe you do have irritation where your body's got to make a ton of oil, and this is because the oils there.
Fried foods, hydrogenated oils, and it produces DHT more, which is the sebum.
You get, and so remember, this has nothing to do really with hormonal. We're going to work on. This is more detoxification and reclaiming back
regeneration.
Yeah, reclaiming back these pores to actually open up, so we can get everything that lives under the skull. I used to do a lot of cadaver cutting when I went to school, medical school. It was part of my job to get free tuition. And when you cut open the scalp, okay, on bald people, okay, especially, it's really thick and it's got this sponge in there, okay, and I always tell people, feel the top of your head and see if it's spongy, or push on it really hard for like 20 seconds, let go, and see if there's a dent there, okay. This is what I call fixated pore pus. And what's pore pus? I don't know.
Clogged everything.
Yeah, I have no idea. Chemical synthetics, who knows? Trans fatty acids and parasites that live in these pores.
And everything the parasite secretes. Okay. Everything that eats has to secrete.
That's right. So if you really look up the microbe that does this, it's called Desodix follicularum. And it's a tiny little thing called a hair mite. And there's dust mites, there's tons of critters. Remember, dust mites are spiders. And these things are like weird looking creatures. And they live in your eyebrows, okay? They're in your eyelashes. They have a lot to do with wrinkles on the face.
So when you wake up in the morning, you have a crust. That's 100%
chemical shampoo,
and
chemical conditioners.
You're taking a shower in a hot
fluoridated.
Yeah, so it's
chlorinated,
so it opens
dry.
the pores up, and it really most of the skin cleaning is actually about detoxification of an organ. This one's a little bit more vanity based, but you still want to become your most authentic self. If I told you that a parasite was living on your skin,
exactly.
If I told you had more company on your skin than you probably do living in your house, like that is it's just weird. You want to become authentic.
A normal person, just so you know, when we talk about bacteria are really small, and they can be good bacteria or bad bacteria. But if you just take one tooth, and a tooth's pretty small compared to your scalp or all your skin, just one tooth can harbor about 6 million different little bacteria, okay? Colonizational bacteria, and like we said, most of the bacteria, especially if you got bad breath, gingivitis, smoking, eating certain foods that are sugary, these are all foods, okay, for microbes. You have mercury fillings. Okay, so I see all these pieces. We call this terrain modification because the protocols we're going to show him are specifically
for regenerating the scalp,
for regenerating
and the hair follicle.
And it's not, because remember, most of the people that talk about actually losing your hair talk about it as actually like some curse because you got too many hormones. Okay, and we're going to talk about that just a little bit now, just so you can understand that. Could it be possible? Okay, like ancient aliens. I like the way they say it. Could it be possible? Because I could tell you the truth, but but could it be possible to you? Okay, that you losing your hair, most people, and I'm talking women too, that there's things that live in your pores, and they eat the oil that you secrete, called sebum. And if they're retreats, are just like vacations, okay? Because this guy's like the vacation facilitator, but you're coming to a place up in Hawaii to be able to really clean yourself up and go through some integrative therapies in connection to one another, which, as you can see, you've been seeing this, is magical, isn't it?
Life-changing, 100%.
Life-changing, okay?
So, no matter what level you're on, if you're coming here to heal, rejuvenate, optimize, raise your consciousness, or all three at the same time, if you can handle that.
And you've seen, remember, you don't think you know. This is what I want everybody to get.
100% success rate. Not what success is, but it's 100% rate.
Success is massive change in everybody that comes. No one's here to say anybody's getting cured. Cured is just a word. What you're doing is you're optimizing.
Yeah, and they're removing baggage.
Optimizing.
All types of baggage. Emotional,
debris everywhere.
Everyone. Sometimes the people that are the most fit athletically are the ones that lose the more physical stuff. So.
And you notice they can't fast as long sometimes. Okay, it's not because they're weaker, it's because they're way tougher, like Nidra.
And they usually push themselves a little bit more.
But their body unloads faster.
It does.
That's one part of the magic.
I noticed they get the most out of the program here if you try to live a little bit more of a ketogenic lifestyle before you come here, and you really learn how to become an efficient fat burner. Those are the people that have the most graceful time into transitioning into ketosis. Once you're in ketosis, everyone has the same experience.
But you notice people even come here like Wendy. She didn't even do anything.
There's people that come here they've never done anything.
She had a hamburger, I think, the day before or something.
In Ayurvedic medicine, people with overweight, they're more grounded, so sometimes more grounded people are really easy to fast. So I don't know if that
well, but not only that either. Okay, as you can see, we are in the sauna, and I'm with Master Daniel here. I call him Master Daniel because this guy's mastered a lot of stuff. Okay, and Daniel Lewis, where do you go by?
Just Dan.
Dan?
Yeah.
Dan has been helping us with everything that has to do with these detoxification and rejuvenation retreats, and they're not really even, this is what I see, you know, because
the first 30 is always the easiest. The last 3 is going to be the most challenging.
What happens is when someone's overweight, remember, that's a lot of fuel. Okay, your body in ketosis, it goes through and it starts eating up all that bacteria, and then we're not talking the good bacteria, we're talking about the debris, we call. And it's not so much the bacteria it eats the house that these things live in. Remember, body fat is a sickness.
Adipose tissue is a living organism on its own.
It's a sickness, okay? And a sickness is navigational and in many ways. But what we're going to do today, okay, because as you can see, he just got a haircut.
I just cut my hair for the shortest it's ever been. It feels so weird. I love it. Yeah.
Tell him what we're gonna do in the second part.
So I've been facing kind of hair challenges my whole life. My hair was actually way less as thick as this, and I've done like that. What's that stuff that you can take dioxin, or is it you buy it over the counter, but it's like with chemical?
Oh, for
it's some kind of chemical package where you do 3 different bottles, and I've
Rogaine
tried that. It was kind of like Rogaine,
yeah.
But I've tried that.
There's lots of them.
But following Dr. Gassar's protocols, train modification protocols, and remineralizing and doing a skin cleaning, but really deep, I definitely noticed that my skin regenerated. Where I have like it came back up.
Your hair grew back like 50%,
and the thickness came bigger with the silica and the skin cleaning. But I never trimmed my hair this short to really get a deep pore cleansing. And we're going to go over the protocols. That's why he did it, is because if you cut your hair down lower, okay, we're going to show you the protocols that you have to really, get into the pore and take out all the puffiness of the skull, all the toxicity. Remember, how many times have you shampooed your hair? Think of it. Okay, with